New day.
Are we on?
We are on.
Sweet. What's up, folks? So, have you heard applaud?
I have
Oh,
not.
crap. I don't have my coffee.
Do you mean to go get your coffee? I'll go get your
I
coffee.
can't do that. That's not nice.
No,
We'll be right back, folks. I'm going to get my coffee. In the meantime, try and figure out what that is. You can keep talking. Tell them about your day.
All right, y'all. So today was a busy day. Started the day by trying to figure out this. Trying to figure out the blog posts and the AI integration with that, and how to get the project set up for so that I can just send in a transcript and it'll automatically do the whole thing. And so far so good. I was having a little bit of struggle with getting it perfect, and then Dave helped me over there, and now it's perfect.
Very cool. So
Posted the first blog post today.
yeah, so the whole idea behind what we're doing here is the fact that we're kind of doing a download of the day, things we learned, things we interacted with clients about. We had a meeting today with a company that creates scents. Like, have you ever gone to an amusement park, and when you're walking through, it'll have a smell?
Yes.
Or at Disney, you know what I mean?
New car smell.
So they actually fabricate and make these smells, these scents.
Which
is kind of wild.
And do they just like spray the scent smell in the air at these amusement parks?
I think they provide. I'm not sure. I think I wasn't in the call, to be clear. I just know we had a meeting with them, but I think they manufacture the liquids or whatever that are then used, kind of like I guess like Jody's into those
The essential oils?
things, probably something like that. But anyway, so applaud.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we talked about it yesterday, how Brian had that device.
Yes, we did.
Excuse me while I sip my coffee. So my wife and I right now have this rule where we're trying to see how long we can go with no unplanned expenses. So no stops to get food, like no Amazon purchases, which is
Whoa. Wait, hold on. You say no Amazon purchases. We get like 30 of those a day.
But planned expenses would be like groceries and stuff. Okay. So like my coffee, for example.
Yes.
Like that's unplanned would be like Plod.
Yes.
Okay, so I went on the website. I was going to click the buy now, $170. It's a device that you wear, and it records your whole day. Mm-hmm. It's always recording. So it's picking up everything. And at the end of the day, it gives you a transcript of here's what you did today, here's what you need to keep in mind. And so because we have this rule right now where we're trying to do no unplanned expenses, even though that would be a business expense, and $170 is no big deal for a company to buy, and for many business leaders, $170 isn't a big deal to spend on this device either. But I'm like, all right, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to be proud of myself. I'm not going to buy this new tech. But then I'm like, okay, I'm going to go to AI, and I'm going to see how can I do that same thing without, and it gave me a whole rundown. Mm-hmm. And I was able today to actually use the Notes app on my iPhone. And I have my phone with me all the time. Like, it's always with me. Mm-hmm. So what I did is I opened up the Notes app, and then you hit like attachments or whatever, and you say add a recording, and I just let the freaking thing record. Even when I wasn't saying anything.
Okay.
Like, I was probably working on finance stuff this morning.
Yeah, that's a big thing.
Mm-hmm. So it's just like recording. Yeah. And then I just pasted the transcript into ChatGPT. And I said, where's what I said? It's loading. There was a lot. Oh, wait. Hold on. Wait, what is this doing? It's a whole nother. Sorry, guys. Yeah, it's weird. It's like it went away. So anyway, I pasted it in here. I'm going to do it again now. So in the Notes app, it actually like goes through and shows you like the transcript. And I can click here, and I can click this little button down at the bottom there. And then I can click the dots at the top, and then copy transcript. And then I can open up the ChatGPT app and create a new one. And then I can just say, I took a transcript of everything. I had my phone on all day today recording what was happening and created a transcript, period. Here's the transcript, comma. Give me a rundown of my day and give me all of the takeaways and things that I need to keep in mind for tomorrow. So I do that, and then I paste in the transcript. I just paste it in, and it's reading. And when you read the transcript, you're like, there's no possible way it's going to get anything out of this.
Because, I mean, I'm assuming it's a bunch of different, interactions at once. So the average person will look at it and be super confused by it.
Right. So give me the rundown, and here it is. So financial structuring and AI sales rundown, and it's breaking down like all the stuff that I did. Like
that's wild.
Yeah, AI Scent Finder app opportunity. And it's literally just going through and explaining all the things that I did today. You had a meeting with Manny. You did this. You did that. So just really cool. But then I can be like, hey, write me a journal entry that's kind of entertaining but very personal in nature and kind of describes my thoughts for the day and what I went through and all that stuff. So that's actually the reason why I wanted to do this.
Yeah.
And here it is. The day I became a financial Jedi and AI whisperer. Today was one of those days where my brain felt like a stock market ticker, constantly moving, fluctuating between brilliant strategist and what the heck am I even doing? Now, that's not my writing style.
Of course.
So what I'll do is give it my writing style, but I can literally just take the transcript and it's going to do a whole thing. Imagine if you had a transcript from my grandfather who worked at IBM. I never met the guy. He was dead long before I was born. But he worked at IBM when computers were the size of this building, and he built that. Imagine having that.
Yeah. That's
like in the present moment, we don't think about it.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
that's so cool because I personally love learning about the experiences that my grandparents had, and just the way the world has changed. And being able to have a diary, I guess you could say, of what they went through, it's just kind of cool. Like Pappy wrote Matt and I. Remember that for our 18th birthday, Pappy wrote us those long letters about his life and like different stuff and that he went through.
I do. I don't think I remember reading them. I don't think I read them because they weren't for me to read.
Yeah, it beautiful letters.
Really?
Fantastic.
His writing?
Yeah, his writing. He hand wrote it all. Like, I'm going to keep that forever. And
that's huge.
My future kids in however many years are going to look at that when they get old enough to understand it and be like, wow, that's so cool. Like
that's really cool.
Yeah.
So here's what I used AI for today, which is kind of the whole point of what we're doing here. Mm-hmm. So the point of this is I want it to be a diary of kind of what we were doing in the life of 5K as we grew, because we're on an upward trajectory and we're going to crush it. At the same time, are you doing something with the beard brand there?
Oh, I don't think it's in there. I can say this because I do run that podcast, but just real quick while it's here,
we are not. They are not sponsors of anything at 5K. Just to be clear, if they become clients, they can be.
Yes.
Maybe they should do that.
Maybe they should. Maybe we'll talk to them. We're pretty tight with them.
We pay a commission.
True.
Just saying.
All right.
So the whole point is that we want to give a diary of kind of the day. The other part, though, is we are using real world AI to amplify ourselves. So here's what happened. So we need to do some restructuring right now, some financial restructuring. So I have this spreadsheet that contains like all of our bank accounts, like all of our loans that we have,
Bank
all of our
statements.
bank statements. Like it has like all this stuff in it. And what I was able to do is take it and I put it in an LLM. And I was like, what the heck do I do? I want you to act as if you are the world's most intelligent financial consultant for businesses of our size. And here is my current situation. And it literally said, here's like 5 options you can do. Dang. It gave me advice that I never have thought of in 25 years.
And good advice?
Good advice.
And was this 01?
What he's asking there is
Yes.
So ChatGPT comes out with different, they're called language models. No, it was not 01.
Okay.
It
That's
it was
nice.
4. I use 4 almost all the time.
That's good because I feel like I've been using 01 a lot, which 01 is the newest model. It is the most expensive model to
I don't like it.
I love it. I don't know why you don't like it. Everything I've done with it is perfect. When I had issues in Cursor, which is a system that allows you to integrate code and edit code. When I was using Cursor with AI, when I was using Cursor to do that, Cursor wouldn't even do it. It would do it in the way that it thought that it would fix the code, but then I would put the code into 01 and say, hey, this is the challenge I had. This is the error log. Fix it, and it did it.
Wow.
And that was like 5 different times it did it, and it fixed it, and it went great.
Yeah.
I don't know why you've had issues with it.
I don't know. But anyway, so I was able to take just a sheet of my debts and, all our assets and all these different things, put it in, be like, hey, here's my challenge. What do I do? And it gave me a whole bunch of advice. And then I was like, okay. So it gave me some people that I should go talk to, like, about some things. I can't get too in depth because it's financial stuff. However, I need to go talk to somebody, but I wanted to give them a rundown. So I'm like, can you please prepare me a really good letter, proposal kind of a thing that breaks all this down? Creates it. I sent it. I have a meeting booked for tomorrow.
That's wild.
At 1.
So the person you had the meeting booked with already
they now already have.
They now know why they're coming in for the meeting
and what we're going to talk about.
Okay. Oh, that's
and
cool.
I didn't, and it took me 5 minutes.
That's wild.
And the grammar's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
It thinks about things that you don't think about.
Yeah.
That we don't think about. So I did that, and that was actually the first probably 4 hours of my day.
Okay.
While I was in Florida, before we had our no unplanned expenses,
yes. I kept looking at that.
I bought in case of zombies break glass. And inside of here is a completely fake. I'm not being irresponsible here. There's no actual trigger or whatever. But this is a zombie gun. Looks like what would be a really freaking cool movie prop. It's pretty big, actually.
Oh, it's heavy too.
And then it has a clip.
Is it metal, or is it like clay?
No, I think it's some kind of a really dense.
It's
plasticky
heavy.
material. It's not metal.
That is awesome.
But what's cool? This actually, I think, goes in here.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, you gotta.
That's awesome. So that was an unplanned expense.
This was an unplanned expense
before you had
before we made the rule.
Is that the reason why you made the rule?
No, we made the rule because there's a book that I'm reading. I'm actually not reading it. I'm lying. There's a book I'm familiar with that I have read the Cliff Notes on. That's super intriguing, and what it talks about is this idea of not having you want to have long-term goals, but instead of, you don't think about the goal, you don't talk about the goal. Instead, you set daily standards for your life that will automatically lead you to achieving your goal. So, for example, 5K Life. So 5K Life, we're going to be launching hopefully this year. And 5K Life is a framework for living your best life in 5 main areas, which cover all of the areas of life. So the first one is kingdom. Most of the folks in this building have a pretty strong spiritual relationship. We have a lot of Christians here. We have Catholics here. We have a Muslim. We have people that are kind of, I don't know how I would describe, I'm going to say just open and like more, not new age, because I don't like that word, but spiritual in terms of like being connected with the universe, whatever. You and I are Christians.
Yes.
So it's not that we respect people regardless of their faith. We have our own reasons that we believe, and we talk about faith here a lot in our building. There's also probably, I don't know if they're atheists or not, but there's certainly agnostics, and I assume there's some atheists. There's all political spectrums and all that. But anyway, kingdom for us means Christ, but for others, I respect highly people, yes. Someone who's a Muslim, for example, has if they're really serious about their faith, then kingdom would mean that, like their faith in that regard. So it's your faith, it's your spiritual journey, whatever. I believe that people need to have a spiritual journey or they get lost because the biggest thing in their life is their feelings.
Yes.
And when the biggest thing in your life is your feelings or how you see the world, I think it causes a lot of issues because that's where you get this whole thing where everyone has their own truth and all that kind of stuff. And there's no moral compass to link to all those things. So anyway, kingdom, and you basically, you break out your spiritual goals. So K, the first K is kingdom. The second K is kinship. So kinship is your family and your friends. So underneath for me, the kingdom step is I want to be always, in the Word. I want to be reading a book, about God in some way. Right now I'm reading Language of God, which was written by an atheist, actually, who was the lead scientist in the Genome Project. The Genome Project was, this was the first scientist to ever actually figure out and write down the code to building a human being.
Whoa.
That is what started the stem cell cloning debates, all those things, because we now have a roadmap for how DNA works and all that kind of stuff. This scientist was an atheist and then turned into kind of an agnostic and then started to believe in God and then eventually ended up believing in Jesus and the whole story of raising from the dead and everything. And it's all about, their journey. But anyway, so that's what kingdom's all about. It's like, where are you at spiritually? How's your spiritual relationship? And what you do when you mix our 5Ks, kingdom, kinship, which is your family and your friends. So when's the last time you reached out to this person in your life that you care about? Are you spending time with the people you care about? Are you doing things for other people that you care about? How are those relationships? The third one is kinesis. So kinesis is just a word for like activity and energy. And we look at it like all of these are like input and output. So in kingdom, what is your input to yourself in your spiritual journey? And what is your output? What are you doing? And then under kinship, it's with your family relationships and your friends. What are you receiving? What are you enjoying? What are you giving? Yeah. Because friendships, if it's always one-sided, and that's not good. So, and then kinesis, it's what are you taking in? Food. Yep. And what are you releasing? Exercise. So like this morning, Jody and I did a HIIT workout.
Heck yeah.
High intensive training, I think is what it's called. That came from the 1 minute workout, I think it's called, by the way, where I learned all about that. Did you know, on that note of, and I'm obviously not the healthiest human in the world, but did you know that cardiovascularly, there's evidence that if you work out high intensity for 10 minutes, you get the same cardiovascular benefit, not the same weight loss benefit, not the same physique benefit, none of that, but the cardiovascular health of your body. You get the same benefit from a 10-minute high-intensity workout that you would if you ran 3 miles.
That's wild.
It's all kinds of studies done.
Is that running 3 miles every day?
I don't know.
That's so cool.
But yeah, that's what that book talked about.
Yeah.
The 1 minute workout. So, so you've got kingdom, kinesis, kingdom, kinship, kinesis, cash, which is money in, money out. Mm-hmm. So career, like how are you making money? How are you saving money? What are you spending money on? Like that's where that's at. And then the final one is knowledge or creativity. We do either way. We had to have a K word, so we say knowledge. Cash, we use a K. They're kind of cheating a little bit.
It happens.
But on that one, it's hobbies. Like this year, I want to. When I say I want to learn to play the piano, I have a definition of what that means in my head. But I want to be able to sit down and freestyle on the piano really well. Mm-hmm. And I want to know Spanish by the end of this year. So those two things, and that would be like hobbies, would be like reading a book, like things that you're interested in. Yeah. So 5K Life, we go down through all those different things. But what we do, Jody and I sit down every morning and we go through that list and we talk about each area of our lives and where we're at. Mm-hmm. And what's so crazy is when you intentionally talk about that with your significant other, it changes everything about your day.
Yeah.
Because you're not defining every single thing you're going to do in the day, but like but here's what's cool. You can use ChatGPT and create a project. And in that project, you can put your own framework. Yes. I can put the 5K framework in there. And then I can say things like, hey, give me a HIIT workout to do. You know what? Go into each of those areas based on the things I've been working on lately and give me a bunch of challenges for those areas. Or, hey, I learned Spanish and I'm happy with where I'm at in my progress. I learned piano. What are some other things I can do? And it will coach you.
That's so cool.
It's pretty cool. But the idea of the other book where it's daily standards is instead of focusing on losing weight, all you focus on is your daily standard, which for me, it's 1,200 calories a day or less in terms of eating. And then did I do a HIIT workout?
Yeah.
Those are my 2 daily standards for kinesis. Mm-hmm. Okay. And then, so that's what I'm being held accountable to from Jody and for Jody, and then you get what I'm saying?
Exactly. 100%. Yeah. That's so cool.
Yeah. So then after that, here's another example. Manny had a meeting and he wanted my feedback on how the meeting went. So he sent me a video of the call, and I watched it at 2x, 1.5x, 2x was a little much. But I watched it, and here's what's cool. While I was watching it, I had that transcription playing or recording.
I see. Yeah, because you watched it out loud, not in headphones.
So I'm playing it, and it's hearing what they're talking about, and I'm hitting pause, and I'm saying, Manny, that was great, man. You really did this good. That was rough. Like we gotta say it this way. And it's relevant for the call. So one of the hangups that this company had, it's I can't say who. So one of the hangups this company had is we're not going to be doing them anymore. So if you hear this, don't expect us to do this. But with people that we've currently been talking to, we do demo tools. Mm-hmm. So in the web programming world, if you're doing a project like a programming project or a web design project, what's typical is you give kind of, here's what we want this thing to do. And then the web developers will go through and they'll write a quote up and give you a quote.
Yeah.
In AI, you can't do that. It's living, it's breathing. You don't know how it's going to react until you actually see it react.
Exactly.
Because it has a personality. It can, and it does one. If you could test the same, you could build an app in AI and test the same thing 7 times and get 7 completely different responses. It's bizarre.
Yeah.
So we don't know up front exactly how things are gonna go. So what we do is we charge $2,500, which pays our engineers time to focus on creating a demo tool, so that we can see exactly how much it's going to cost. And this person was really hung up on not wanting to commit to a $2,500 tool until they knew exactly how much it was going to cost. And it was really challenging in that call. And so this is just a great answer for anyone that's struggling with this same thing with us or with another vendor. In AI, you can't do that. The whole point of the demo is to actually get to the point where you can do a quote and know what it's going to cost. And I use the example of a mechanic where if I call a mechanic and I say, hey, my car's making a noise, how much to fix it? Well, what are you going to say to that if you're the mechanic?
Well, we have to test what's going on first.
No. It's making a noise. I want to know how much it's going to cost to fix it. Like, you can't answer that question.
Yeah. Without the demo, essentially. Yes.
So with the mechanic, they're going to do an analysis on your car and then tell you how much it's going to cost. But how often do they call you and tell you it's going to be more? Right?
Yeah.
Why didn't they tell you that up front? Because they couldn't spend the time to actually dig in to find all the potential issues, and you are paying for that time to do the diagnosis.
Yes.
It's just, it's in the cost of the services.
Exactly.
With us, it's like, look, you might not want to do the tool. So that was one thing. And then the other thing, and this is good, anyone who sells any products at all that are like service-based products that are created and not products you buy off the shelf, you need to create a product that people are buying off the shelf if you're selling services.
Yes.
You have to create this image of every single thing that this could do and get somebody really excited about that image so that they know what they're pulling off the wall. Well, one of the things that happened in this call, and I'm not throwing Manny under the bus at all. He'd be fine if he was sitting right here,
exactly,
to be clear. But when I listened to the call, I was like, wait a second. One of the things we said is, hey, why don't you go back and you put together a list of what you want this tool to do, and then we'll get you a better idea of what it's going to cost. Well, if you go to a heart surgeon, is the heart surgeon going to look at you and go, well, you tell us how you want us to do your heart surgery, and then we'll let you know how much it's going to cost.
Exactly.
That sounds so asinine, right?
Yep.
But if you're in B2B sales or service-based sales, you representing the service-based company, you are creating the product if it's a custom product.
Yes.
You don't call up an architect and say, I want a house. How much is it going to cost?
Exactly. Yeah.
What's the architect going to say?
Well, we need to analyze it and think through it. And
well, no. I want it to have 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, and be 2,000 square feet. Can you give me an exact cost?
The price fluctuates.
Right. No, you can't give me an exact cost.
Yeah.
You can't. And that would be what I said too, is it would be irresponsible and unethical to do that. And there are companies that will do that. They'll give you the cost. But then what happens when you're halfway through development and you're stuck with them now? That's when the change orders hit.
Exactly.
And now they know you're stuck because you're already invested. You're going to have to keep spending money. I refuse to do that here. I won't. There are companies that do it.
Yeah.
I won't do it. And then, so with AI now, this is where even our own AI team, with AI now, I can tell AI what the client wants to do, and it'll give me the most creative ideas in the world on what that tool could do.
Yeah.
So now, and it can happen in 3 minutes. So now, instead of having a client tell you what to do, tell them what to do. I don't care what industry you're in, what service you provide. Go to AI and say, hey, I have a client. Here's who they are. Here's what they do. They want a tool that does this. Think way outside the box. Give me 50 different features that it could have or not have, along with an explanation of what the user will experience when they use it. And then give me a yes or no checkbox on each one.
Yeah.
And then you take that and you give it to the client. Now you're the expert. Now you're telling them what to do, which is what, when you're in a high-end service-based business, that's what you need to do.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's I never really thought about it that way. As in, you're the expert. You need to tell them what is best for them.
Mm-hmm.
Because based on your example of, let's just say, the car mechanic, if you have no knowledge about cars or how engines work or how to paint a car or this and that, you tell the guy, like, hey, I want you to paint it this way with this many layers with this blah, blah. The painter is going to be like, what are you talking about? Like, I know what I'm doing. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. And then you can get so much more detailed if, you go to the expert and say, hey, do this for me the way that you know how to and the way that works. Because that you're going to get so much more detailed and just better results that way. But
yep, that's how it works.
Yeah.
So then we were building out the first blog post for these videos.
Yes,
so
very exciting.
What are your takeaways? So if somebody out there wants to take a podcast or take a recorded conversation or take a sales meeting or a sales call and create a blog post out of it, you had some struggles early on today getting it to do. So what did you learn to do for when we finally got it to do what we wanted it to do?
So the big picture is the main thing I kind of, the key takeaway was prompt engineering is so powerful when it comes to how you prompt AI to do things for you. So obviously you have a lot more experience specifically with prompting than I do. And, even without when AI wasn't a thing, you had to prompt Google, you had to prompt like in the search bars.
We were talking about that in my office,
exactly,
how search modifiers and our little thing, like when you search Google, for example, there's often times where I would have to find web pages on the internet that had a specific word in the content but did not have it in the title. The reason for that is I wanted links from those websites, because in search engine optimization, that's how you increase your rankings, is you have great content, but you have to get other sites to link to your content in order for it to rank. I think we talked about that actually the other day. So I would be looking for I would be looking for websites that had the word I wanted to rank for in the content, but not in the title. If they don't have that word in the title, it means they don't want to rank for that phrase.
Yeah.
But I want to rank for that phrase. They reference that phrase in the content. If I contact them and work a deal out, a trade or something, can I get them to link that phrase that's in that content to my site? Right? So to do that, you have to type in text, colon, and then in parentheses, the word that you want, space, and then capital AND, space, in title, or I'm sorry, not a minus sign, in title, colon, in that same phrase. That will show you every page on the internet that has a word in the content, but not in the... So, to your point, I've been doing that since 2002.
Yeah.
Using search modifiers, which helps me with my prompting today.
Exactly. And so I was doing it the way that I thought was the right way to do it, and not giving, like, the thing that really made it perfect and made it work was
paint a picture of exactly what you did and what you got in as a result. Before and then after.
Okay, so before I came to Dad and explained to him, what was going on and the struggle and this and that with the prompting, I was doing it. And for example, so I was saying, you are an expert in this area, in the area of blog posting, and that was dumb because you didn't give it what specific blog post that you're doing. So that was my first mistake. But so I said, you're an expert at blog posting. Create me I'm going to be sending you transcripts of these videos. Create a professional blog post about this, and then gave it guidelines and parameters. So I was having struggles getting it accurate and getting it, to the point and without to storytelling and to this and that. So I came to Dad and I was like, Dad, listen, this is the deal. This is what I'm doing. And he actually noticed it while I was working on it. And he goes, hey, Mark, listen to me for a second. And so so I turn around, listen, I listened to him, and he's telling me how he would do it. And so I did it how he would do it.
What did I say?
You said, open up a new chat and ask AI, what are the key elements to an amazing and incredible B2B blog post? Because that's what these blog posts are. They're
specifically that has actionable takeaways that you can implement.
Exactly. Yeah. Yes. And so it gave me these elements, and then I had it. He helped me and told me to say that after I got those elements and key points, to then say, hey, now create me an outline of a blog post that I can use to then create the actual blog post with the transcript. So it wrote out the outline with taking into consideration all of the key elements that it said previously about what makes a perfect B2B blog post. And then after that, then I gave it my transcript and say, hey, use this transcript to create the blog post, and it was perfect. And
it was great. Yeah. I'm like, that's a blog post.
Yes.
That's a blog post.
Yeah. And so and
honestly,
that's so nice.
Looking at some of the content that's on our blog that we've come out with recently, we should actually use that prompting.
Yes.
Because I don't like fluff posts. I hate it. So
what are fluff posts?
Well, there's fluff posts, there's fluff speakers. So I'm a speaker. I speak at a lot of business leadership events, and I kept getting great feedback, and I really didn't know why. I was in my 20s speaking at these leadership events in Arizona and all over the country where these business owners of $100 million companies are showing up, and I'm talking to them about what we do. In those days, it was search engine optimization and paid ads and Twitter and Facebook and all that stuff. But I would often ask, what's the difference between me and, Joe the speaker? Well, everyone would say, you don't talk about theory. Mm-hmm. When we leave your talk, we have 15 actual things that we can go do. Links we can go visit, tools we can play with. And that's always been my thing. And that's what, when I teach, I hate theory. And I think it stems from my DNA early in business that all I wanted to do was generate leads, because I was a cold caller for years. I built everything in the beginning through cold calling. We still do cold calling.
Exactly.
I mean, cold calling is like
people say cold calling's dying down. It's not dying down.
People told me cold calling was dead in 2005.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah,
and
it's not.
Here we are.
So what happens is, and I like that. Say it's all dead, because then people stop doing it.
Yeah, then
yeah. So, and now
it's all dead.
Yes, all cold calling is dead. Dead. So
Dead.
So what was I talking about?
Speaking in Arizona, and
no, that was like 5 minutes ago.
Why you're different? Oh, fluff.
So the other speakers would come in and they would just talk about theory, and I would talk about these actionable takeaways. So it was a big deal. So I want our blog posts to do the same. I don't want it to be, here's our opinion.
Yeah.
It's, here are actionable, real things you can actually do, tools, resources, guides, websites. Here's this thing. Here's this idea. Ask these specific questions. Like, that's a blog post.
Yes.
If I'm going to invest my time to actually sit and read something, which nobody does anymore.
Yeah.
If I'm going to sit and actually read something on my phone, and it's going to take me more than a minute, it better be damn good. It better be to where I'm reading that and I'm gonna have 1,000 different takeaways.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, so that's the goal. The goal for today was basically to get these blog posts up. Unfortunately, through trying to figure it out before I talked to Dad, it took a bit longer than expected. But here we are. It's now up. I'm probably gonna go home and
get the other one up.
Exactly. Get the other one up. Go home. I'm a youth leader, so after youth group, probably work a little bit more just on refining it and making the chat bot so that tomorrow we can come in and boom, have that done.
Yep.
So yeah, that's the goal for the rest of the day for me, just to get that really done and set in stone so we can start using it.
One last thing I want to hit on, unless you have anything else to chat about, the one last thing is the finance stuff.
Yes.
So one of the cool things you can do, you can upload, like if you export a PDF of a P&L and put it into an LLM, ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, et cetera, you can upload that if you don't want it to have, like, people are worried about confidentiality, just remove your company name from it. You know, if that's your concern. Now, if your account is in the name of your company and stuff, then maybe you can still be worried about that. But you can also get LLMs that you can install in your actual servers now. You don't have to use these tools. That's an important note.
Aren't they super slow now? Like, still?
Not if you're on the right computer. I mean, NVIDIA is coming out with a $3,000 AI supercomputer.
Ooh, that'll be nice.
That I think every business in America will have one, probably.
Hopefully their stock goes up.
Yeah, because think about it, if your LLM is sitting on a box and you are getting a download of the LLM, but all of the interaction with the LLM stays on your server. This is important, by the way, for the blog post, because I'm going to make sure, because a lot of people are concerned about security, because like they're worried that if they don't want to upload their prospect list because they're afraid that then it's going to become a part of the brain, which is a valid concern. But what you can do is you can have the LLM, the engine, the brain, installed on a computer, and you can do that now.
Yeah.
In your office or on your laptop, where it doesn't go to the outside world. When it gets updates for new LLMs, it just downloads the new brain.
Yes.
The new way to think, but all of the customization of it stays on your device. So that's how people handle. We have a company in Idaho that is really concerned about intellectual property, and they don't want their competitors to be able to come in and steal their stuff. And so,
which makes sense. Yeah.
Oh, it makes complete sense. You know, same with like legal documents, things like that.
Yeah.
So that's super important. So you can do that. The other, but the point is with the finances, you could upload like your P&Ls, and if you have a presentation that you need to create for your board or whatever, upload your P&L and then tell it exactly what you want. I am presenting to the board of directors next week, and I need to highlight all of the positive things that are happening within this P&L. And it'll literally write you up a whole thing, and then you can be like, okay, can you give me the content for the slides? You can go to Midjourney and create images that look amazing to put in the background of the slides. And you can say, can you give me speaker notes, things to actually say on each of these slides? You can put in the speaker notes. And now when you're presenting, you've got this amazing looking presentation highlighting all the positive things about the P&L, and you've done it in probably 5% of the time that it would have taken before, because
5%.
You don't have to, you're still... We talked about this yesterday. Like, I sent a couple of messages out to the team, and when I did it, I said, "Hey guys, this is AI, but it's all my words.
Exactly.
Like it's all my thoughts."
Yeah.
So like that's the beautiful thing. Like if you're communicating negative information to somebody, you know, I was speaking at an event once. We'll end on this. I know it's getting late.
I can stay for.
I have a dinner date with
I see.
your mother.
Oh, that's nice.
So what was I saying? Sorry, folks. This is ADHD between two people, and we don't have a host here to keep us going.
That even got me more off track. Talking about the importance.
I was speaking at an event out west.
Yes.
And we were talking about, we were doing check-ins, and I was there to talk about AI. And during the check-in, one of the people said that one of the things they're currently struggling with is their 45-year-old son is bipolar and made the decision to stop taking their meds.
Oh, I remember that, yeah.
And she was challenged because this is her son, but he's 45. So it's hard. You can't really, like, come down on, you know. but she cares and she wants to address that. But she also doesn't really know how to communicate with somebody who's got severe bipolar disorder.
Mm-hmm.
So I literally, while she was sharing, I went in and I said, hey, I have a friend who has a 45-year-old son who's not taking their meds for bipolar disorder. It's extreme. I want to send a message, but I don't want to offend, blah, blah, blah. And I want to communicate in a way that would be well received by someone with severe bipolar. And it wrote this perfect thing up. And so that's great. I think it's wonderful. The cool thing about communicating through AI is it's still your heart. It's still your opinion. It's still your thoughts, but the crafting of the words
can be so much better.
Yes. And so that's one of the huge,
I have a really hard time with like crafting my thoughts into like a message to somebody, especially if it's something like a hard topic to discuss, because I don't really have a lot of intellectual brain cells when it comes to that stuff. When it comes to what the right thing to say in the right moment is, I just get weird about it.
You handle difficult not to turn this into a dad-son moment, but you handle those situations pretty well. Unless you're angry, which all of us deal with that.
Yes. I'm mainly talking about like the sad things that people are going through, and they ask for advice, or they just need to chat with somebody. Like 9 times out of 10, I have to either ask ChatGPT, like how to.
But doesn't that make you a better person because it's kind of coaching you a little bit?
Because I'm not going through my brain going like this, and this, and it could make the situation worse. And instead of going through something that...
And if it's a phone call, you can ask for an outline.
Exactly,
And then you can... If it's a text, you can ask for the text.
Yeah.
Oh, this is funny. So when ChatGPT first came out, I would reach out to your mom, and I would say, hey, I want to say this to my... Because I am not organized. She is. I am not... empathetic. She is. I could go. We're opposites. I wouldn't say better, just different.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's an advantage sometimes to not having empathy.
Yeah,
because you can make better business decisions. In some cases, you need empathy.
Yeah.
But she would say, "Is this Dave GPT?" Now she loves it.
Yeah,
and she uses it. The funny thing, though, you know how sometimes it makes things bold and italic. So for a while, she was texting me, and I didn't say anything. But I knew that if it had bold or italic in it, that she had literally copied and pasted it directly from ChatGPT.
That's funny.
So I texted her one day, I'm like, hey, just so you're aware. Like,
you know what you should have done? You should have done the same thing.
Oh, yeah.
Like copied and pasted with the bold
and
italic
yeah,
to see if she would notice.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. I'm not sure if she would. I don't know.
That's great. Just the fact that mom's using AI right now is wild.
Yeah.
Because I would have never imagined her getting her personal assistant like she has.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's wild.
Victoria.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Well, good call. Good day today. Tomorrow's another big day, and got a big meeting in the afternoon. And the only thing I'll say, I think that kind of we talked about a little bit. We chatted about, as a company, like doing a hard 8. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So like, one of the things, if you're not in leadership at your company and you work for a team, and especially if you're younger, because I think some of the people, I feel like the people that are 40 and older already have this mindset. They already get that. There's something that happened with the cell phone generation where there's a lower value of, not a value, there's a lower understanding. It shifted. Back in the day, it was you were grateful for your employer, and you were going to work there for 40 years, and you were going to retire and get a pension, right? That's not how it works anymore. So what's happened is a lot of younger people look at it like the company is lucky that they have the employee.
Yeah.
Versus it used to be the employee is feeling lucky that they have the job. Now, in different job markets, if there's 10% unemployment rate, people get real happy for having a job.
Yes.
We've had a pretty good run, though, in recent years where there haven't been massive layoffs other than COVID, but that was a whole different ballgame. But when you're working, if the expectation is an 8-hour day, I think sometimes people will. We had this happen at Get My Home's Value a lot. People would come in at 9 and they were going to work 9 to 5, but they'd take an hour lunch.
Yeah.
And that's not 8 hours. Mm-hmm. So we used to always say, like, take an hour lunch, but then you're an 8 to 5.
Yes.
You know, or hey, if you want to leave at 4, that's cool. Like, come in at 7, come in at 6, like that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And that's just a little tidbit for the blog post too. Little fun, little add-on, little feature that, do a hard 8. And if you're a team leader, get your people excited about feeling good about a hard 8.
Yes.
Like, you kind of want them to not feel like they had a great day if they didn't put in a hard 8. Now, there's other types of roles too, though. Like in my world, do you remember what I said to you a long time? I don't know, you might not remember anymore, but like what I used to, when I walked out of the office at the end of the day and got in my car, I would always do a self-assessment of my day. Do you remember what? I don't know if you remember this or not.
And I could be wrong, but I'm just pulling stuff out of my butt right now. I think that what you said was, if you left the office feeling like you accomplished something that would help the team in some, or help the business in some area or the other, then you felt good about it. But if you left the office and you didn't feel like you accomplished anything specifically to help the team or the company,
in the future.
Yeah, in the future, yes.
The only word there to add is in the future,
yes.
Meaning, like today, some of this finance stuff that I worked on will benefit the company for years and years and years to come.
Yes.
The blog posts that we're creating, like those are things that will be over time. You just keep at, they'll end up getting seen and heard, and there's a lot that we're learning about the company and things. But what a great thing to have it all logged.
I think we should start a podcast with it.
That's kind of what this is, my friend.
Yes, but the blog post. But I think if we actually do like upload it on like Spotify and stuff.
Oh, we'll do that.
And like we can
upload it everywhere, put it everywhere,
and we can market it maybe.
Well, you don't market things until they're sexy.
Yes.
Like you gotta.
Of course, we're not gonna market this if we have.
Did you watch?
Episodes
You've seen The Social Network.
Yes.
Do you remember when Justin Timberlake's character talks about how, like, you don't monetize, like, I forget, it's about the party. He was like, you don't want to charge people to get into the party. Like there's you can charge to get in the party after the party's cool. That's not what he said, but that's kind of like, you know, if I was going to throw a party, and I've never thrown a party before, and I'm going to have a bunch of people over, and I charge $35 for it, people are going to be like, what the heck's that? But if my party is legendary and it gets talked about and it has buzz and there's people out there saying, you got to go to this party, now I can charge $35 to get into my party.
For a real world example in our lives, when the Cars and Coffee that used to happen at the mall used to be free, and then it got huge, and then they started doing it's not really necessarily charging you, but they started implementing the Toys for is it Toys for Tots?
Yep.
Yeah, Toys for Tots, where you would bring a gift in order to enter the show, and then he started charging. I think like $10 to enter. And people still did it because they realized
the party was cool.
Exactly. Yeah. But yeah.
All right. Lots of nuggets. Peace out, y'all.
Peace out.
Bye-bye.